For the past several years, home prices across the county have been on the rise. While it's been great for homeowners, the spike has left many first-time home buyers priced out of the market.
Right, and with the Fed considering a looming interest rate hike, the price of living in and around America's finest city could once again be on the rise. So to help us make sense of all the headlines in the real estate market, we are joined by local real estate expert Mike Litton. Good morning, Mike.
Morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here so early. Okay, so tell us, what's going on in the market right now? Are there a lot of homes on the market? Are there deals to be had? What's going on?
Well, there's more demand than there are homes on the market. One of the challenges right now is a lot of sellers are trying to test the market because they're reading the papers, right? They got the memo that prices are up. A lot of homeowners that are trying to sell their homes that are overpricing them are basically hearing crickets. The people who are pricing them competitively, like we talked about, we had a listing that was $409,000. We had 12 offers and 35 showings in 2.5 days. Property sold for $33,500 above asking.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I mean, that's buyer demand.
Right.
But it's buyers being smart. Buyers are smarter today than they've ever been because of their access to data.
Right. Now let's talk about interest rates, because whenever we hear about that, there always tends to be this nervous panic. Are we expecting there to be a hike? If so, how much? And talk about how that's going to affect the market.
Well, the first interest rate hike won't be significantly high. In other words, it's not going to be something that's going to be prohibitive for people in terms of affording a home. The thing is, if you graph out what's been happening with home values, and you graph out median income in San Diego County, believe it or not, median income in San Diego County the last 3 years is off 4.3%. It's actually down. So if you graph that out, this gap, right, is an actual, that delta is affordability. So when you add in an increase in interest rates, affordability becomes tougher. So it's harder for people to buy.
Right.
The immediate impact, when we see an increase in interest rates historically, is that we have a real run. Buyers get off the fence, buyers get in, buyers buy because they're trying to buy while they can. What will happen later, though, is it'll cool things off because people will have a tougher time trying to qualify. And with the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau getting involved in terms of restricting guidelines and restricting how we do things in terms of documentation and that type of thing, the more regulations create a harder environment in terms of trying to qualify for a home loan. So people are going to qualify for less, partly because of these new restrictions that are coming in.
So in the next couple of months, do you see any big swings or developments here in the local market?
I see things picking up, and I know it's crazy to say that, but one of the things that's happening is, yeah, we're busy. Yes, things are happening. Buyers, like I told you, are smarter than they've ever been because of their access to data. Sellers are starting to understand. They're starting to get it. And when sellers start to understand, those homes are going to go on the market, people are going to buy them, and things are going to pick up, partly because of this interest rate thing. A lot of people sit on the fence when they're buying a home and wait for interest rates to drop. Now that we know with a level of certainty that interest rates are going to rise, all of a sudden there's a sense of urgency.
Right. Okay, best advice for the first-time home buyer, maybe somebody who's just looking to move up right now. I mean, we were talking about it earlier. Buyers are becoming smarter and smarter.
Right. And that's a good thing because,
absolutely,
you know, for years,
you need to do your homework.
And I was telling you, 10 years ago, we'd go to show property to a buyer. We would show up with a list of 10 properties to show them. Today, they show up with a list of 10 for us.
And very detailed.
And that's a great thing, by the way, because they have access to mortgage calculators. They have access to data. They have access to sales and what's been happening and that type of thing. What's important, though, is that if you're a first-time home buyer, you want to try to qualify for a little bit less than what your maximum is. In other words, if you qualify for $500,000, you want to be looking at a home that's probably $450,000, that type of thing, because you want to give yourself that type of flexibility in terms of cash, in terms of other things. We were talking about appraisals earlier. Appraisals have been coming in low because of a lot of CFPB guidelines and Consumer Finance Protection Bureau guidelines and restrictions with regard to new appraisal protocols.
All right. Mike, as always, thanks for breaking it down for us.
Yes.
You make it so easy. Great to see you.
Great to see you.
Thank you. See you again.
Care.